Welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you all about what to expect on your SQE1 exam day. I have a video where I speak about the scope of the SQE1, including two legs of the exams, the FLK1 and the FLK2. If you'd like to know more about that, please watch out for that video. I'll be running you through what you can expect on the day. First of all, ensure that you arrive early. Some centers recommend arriving 30 minutes before the exam starts or 1 hour before the exam starts. There will be validation of the identity cards or the identity materials which you have brought before for the exam. People do usually recommend that you use the same identity documents that you use when registering for the exams. In my case, I use my passport and I also use the credit card. I'm going to put on the screen the primary and secondary means of identification that are recommended and acceptable by the SRA. Once that is sorted, you'll be directed to a place that has a locker. Some centers have a room, some centers have just one area of the venue where you can put your phone and the personal items that you brought with you. About 10 minutes before the exam starts, you're directed to the actual exam room or the exam venue, depending on the case of your center. You're then searched. You're not allowed to go in with any form of electronic device. So bear this in mind. Even if you have an earmuff or an earplug, ensure that it is not an electronic device. If you do need reasonable adjustments, ensure that you have informed them prior to the day. On that day, electronic devices not previously searched, not previously approved, will not be allowed into the centers. The exam usually kickstarts with a 10 minutes video running you through what to expect. Even before the 10 minutes video, the instructor at the exam venue would also run you through the rules and regulations that govern the exam within their center. Please bear that in mind. Because there's a 10 minutes pre-start video that guides you and directs you on how to conduct the exam, including flagging questions that you want to go over subsequently at the end of the exam, including how to answer the questions, how to click, where to click, what to do in case of an emergency. And because it's not a mandatory 10 minutes video watch, you can skip through. This often accounts for why so many people finish at different times. So you could see some people finishing earlier than others with a 3 to 10 minutes gap in between for each person. Remember, you're also going to sign a fit to sit exam document that confirms that you are fit to sit for the exam. So also note this, depending on your center could also have other exams that are being written. So some people would be finishing and exiting the venue from time to time. So bear this in mind and get ready to ensure that your concentration is maintained at a maximum level. The exam itself lasts for a total of 153 minutes. That's a total of 2 hours, 33 minutes. And trust me, time flies by really quickly. So you want to ensure that you're off to a really great start, which is why you're watching this video. So you know what to expect and you're able to calm yourself before the exam starts. I recommend taking a deep breath before you start to tackle the questions. Ensure you do not waste time on questions that are taking so long to read, so long to process, or so long to understand. My top tip is don't leave any question unanswered. Even if you don't read the question properly, just pick an answer, flag the question, and ensure to review it and revisit it at the end of the exam. After the first 153 minutes, you will then be asked to leave the center for your 1 hour break. SRA website also recommends that you return within 15 minutes. This does not mean that you return after 10 minutes. It only means that you return at least 10 minutes before the start of your next session. I recommend returning within 20 minutes before the start of your next session. What do you do during the break? When I sat for the exam, I had some light snacks with me. I had an energy bar, I had some water, I had an apple, and I had a banana. I am not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, but this was what I used, and I found it to be very, very serving because I was able to stay energized even all through the course of the second session. So while you've been studying and preparing, you could have revision notes. I had my revision notes on my phone, so it was easier for me to go over my revision notes during the break. If all you can do during the break is just rest, take a deep breath, and just maybe walk around the center or exit the center, or even just grab a cup of coffee, whatever your situation is, there are no mandatory rules of what you can do during the break. I just recommend returning early enough to kickstart the next session. When you return at the next session, you will be searched all over again. Also remember that at all points during the exam, you must have a valid means of ID on you, either your primary means of identification or your secondary means of identification. I must mention at this point that fatigue might set in, especially if you've never practiced answering the 180 questions at a go in a day. My best recommendation is that you practice. If the first time you're attempting to do 180 questions in a day is on the exam day, that might just set you up for failure. So your best bet might be to have curated exam sessions prior to the exam day where you actually attempt 90 questions in the morning and 90 questions in the afternoon. Finally, I must also mention that it's important to stay hydrated so that you do not feel drowsy or drained at any point in time. You must also take the hydration in moderation because you don't want to be using unscheduled bathroom breaks. And during unscheduled bathroom breaks, you are not allowed to stop your timing, so your exam time still continues. So this is why I strongly recommend that you stay hydrated, but stay hydrated in moderation. I hope with all of these tips and with all of these things that I've shared, your anxieties and your nerves are a bit calmed and you know what to expect on the exam day. This is me wishing you the best of luck. If you'd like to know more and learn more about the SQE, please subscribe to this channel, like this video if it helped you, or share with a friend or anyone you know that is taking the SQE soon. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.